My name is Dewi. I'm from Department Perio. So I heard that you have two questions, yeah, for the clarifications. So I heard from Dr. Ellis that you guys already have a PowerPoint to answer the questions. So who is the presenters today?
From class A, Doc.
Okay. Okay, would you mind to start the presentation first?
Okay, good afternoon. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Siti Rajmala Budurinto. So for class A question, how to differentiate between acute, aggressive, and necrotizing periodontitis. Next slide, please. So I make it a table. So for the acute periodontitis, the onset is sudden, and the key features is severe pain, ulcerated and necrotic gingiva, and spontaneous bleeding. And this can lead to necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis or NUP. And for the aggressive periodontitis, the onset is gradual, and this is rapid attachment loss, minimal plaque relative to tissue destruction, deep periodontal pockets, and this is may progress to chronic periodontitis. And for necrotizing periodontitis, the onset is sudden, and this is necrosis of periodontal tissue when full ulcers, pseudomembrane formation, full breath, and this is can progress to necrotizing stomatitis or cancrum oris. Next slide, please.
Okay, so next up we're going to be talking about the causes of these three types of periodontitis. So for the first one, for acute, so acute periodontitis is often associated with bacterial infections and can be exacerbated by factors such as stress and immunosuppression. For aggressive periodontitis, it's often linked to specific bacterial infections, notably involving Agaricotobacter. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm sorry. Actinomycetum comitans. Genetic factors also play a significant role in susceptibility. And for necrotizing periodontitis, these conditions are often associated with factors like malnutrition, immunosuppression, poor oral hygiene, and stress. And the presence is of specific bacteria such as Fusobacteria and Spirochaetes is also noted. That's it for our group.
Okay, so from your friend presentations, is it clear already or you have any questions? So it's the question is from the class A, right?
Yes.
Okay, first I want to ask why you have to differentiate between acute, aggressive, and necrotizing. Why don't you differentiate it or distinguish it between chronic, aggressive, and necrotizing? Why you choose acute, aggressive, and necrotizing to differentiate?
May I answer that?
Yes, please.
I think because this is my question, and I think for chronic and aggressive is already clear, the differentiation, but acute and aggressive and necrotizing is not quite clear.
Okay, so from your friend's questions, is it clear enough?
Yes, Doc, thank you.
Okay. May I ask where from what reference you looking for this for the presentations? May I see the reference?
This is the reference that this is the reference that we used for the causes of periodontitis. For the how to differentiate, we forgot to put it on. Give 1 second, please.
Do you guys already read the Carranza for the classification of parental disease?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. In which edition you read? 13 or 14 or 14 editions of Carranza?
13th edition, Doc.
13. So in certain editions, we still use the old classification, which AAP 1999, right? Do you know, guys, that we have a new classification, AAP and ESP 2017?
Yes, Doc.
Okay. So we have to agree first that in educational wise or educational purpose in Indonesia, we still use the AAP 1999. But for international forum, we already use the new classification. So maybe we have to agree first that in this class, in this term, we are using the old classification, which AAP 1999, right? If you read on Carranza, that are no term of acute periodontitis. So if you read the Carranza, you will find that periodontitis is classified into chronic, aggressive, and in acute term, we use the term of acute necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis, right? So the term acute periodontitis is, there is no acute periodontitis. So it's just aggressive periodontitis, either aggressive periodontitis or necrotizing periodontitis. If the periodontal disease progressivity is on rapid progression. Is it clear?
Yes, Doc.
Yes,
Thank you, Doc.
thank you.
Okay. So there is no acute periodontitis, yeah. So if I may ask, what is the principal differentiation, how we differentiate between aggressive and necrotizing in clinical features? What is the key features? When we have patients and we see it that it's a rapid progression, how we can differentiate it between aggressive and necrotizing? Anyone who can answer?
Is it the minimal local factors, Doc? For example, if a patient has an aggressive periodontitis, it could happen even if they don't have calcus or only a little bit of calcus.
Okay. Another features. Necrotizing periodontitis sometimes also have little local factors. From the clinical features. How can we differentiate between aggressive and necrotizing? Because both conditions is a rapid loss of parental attachment, and sometimes we found it on patients with young, usually under 30 years old. So how can we differentiate it? So what is the etiology of aggressive periodontitis? Is there any difference between the etiology of aggressive periodontitis and necrotizing periodontitis? or they have a same G? Are both condition have same etiology or not?
May I answer, Doc?
Yeah, please.
I think for necrotizing periodontitis, it has association with immunocompromised patients.
Okay. So the necrotizing periodontitis patients, it usually have underlying conditions like maybe some have malnutrition, stress, or maybe immunodepression conditions. But in aggressive periodontitis, it's most likely have no underlying conditions. And then from the clinical features, is it the same conditions?
I think for the primary clinical feature for necrotizing periodontitis, it has tissue necrosis.
Okay, it has pseudomembrane on its gingiva. So it's the main difference between the necrotizing and aggressive periodontitis, because they have both condition is in rapid progression, so you have to distinguish between these two. Okay, I think it's clear enough to answer your first question, or anyone have another questions? Is there another questions, or is just one questions?
For Group A, we only had one question. I don't know about the other groups.
Okay. About the other groups?
Actually, from Group C, there's two question, Doc, but
Oh.
kata Doc Herlis, it will be discussed in DCS4.
Okay. What questions, if I may know?
So first, how to treat tooth mobility if there are many teeth that are mobile in the oral cavity, and the second one, principle of periodontal splinting according to Ainte's law.
Okay, Antelo, yeah. Okay. For that question, yeah, like Dr. Hartley said, in this DCS we just learn the basic of periodontal disease. So it's about the classifications, the etiology, the pathogenesis of the periodontal disease. But for the treatment of the periodontal disease, we will explore more. We will learn more at the next DCS. So I think for this clarification class, I think it's clear enough. Yeah, no other questions.
I think so, Doc.
Okay, I hope this clears up your confusions. If no one asks, maybe we can end. Good luck for your upcoming exams on next week, yeah.
Yes, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay, can we end this, guys?
Maybe yes, Doc.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Doc.